Au vu de tout ce qui précède, le gouvernement du Niger, prenant en compte les aspirations et les intérêts de son peuple, décide en toute responsabilité de dénoncer avec effet immédiat l'accord relatif au statut du personnel militaire des États-Unis et des employés civils du département américain de la défense sur le territoire de la République du Niger. Une correspondance diplomatique sera adressée à la partie américaine à cet effet.
The Nigerian authorities have taken another bold move. No matter what you call these guys, call them dictators, call them anything, you can't deny the fact that they are very determined. They know their objectives and they are pursuing them with great results. After successfully expelling France from their country, that's including the diplomatic corps, embassy staff and military base, they are now focusing on the United States. At the time they expelled France, the US got a temporary deal with the Nigerian authorities, thinking they are home and dry, that this $100 million drone base in Agadez, Niger, will be there for much longer. But a few months after France was expelled, a new expulsion order has now been served on the United States by the Nigerian authorities. They want them to close this Agadez drone base and leave their country with immediate effect. By ending the military cooperation they have with the US can no longer operate their military base in Agadez. When they say immediate effect, that means all flights from the US drone base will no longer be authorized by the Nigerian authorities. In other words, it means that the US will communicate a withdrawal date to the Nigerian authorities. The Nigerians are saying that the continued operation of the US drone base in Niger is illegal. They are trying to reaffirm their sovereignty. The question now is, will the US close their air base and leave? Looking at how they humiliated France after Macron bragged that they do not recognize the military as the legitimate power in Niger, and as such they do not have the power to terminate the military cooperation agreement between the two countries. In the end, after massive protests, Macron humiliatingly accepted that French servicemen could no longer perform their duties in Niger, so no need continuing staying in the country. He had to pull them out. Same thing happened with their ambassador, so the US will have no option but to comply. Niger is not Syria or Iraq, where they refuse to leave. There's no war in Niger. They are just trying to reassert their authority and sovereignty. The men running the show in Niger have successfully used peaceful protests to achieve many things that many thought could only be achieved by violent means. So if the US refuses to close their drone base and leave, massive protests will follow in a few days and they will not be able to conduct their operations anymore. Such a scenario will definitely hurt Biden's re-election bid. He's already battling with many that are not committed to voting him because of what is going on between Israel and Hamas. With Trump leading him in many polls, he wouldn't want the margin to increase at this crucial time, 8 months before the US presidential election. So it looks likely that the US will simply pack their bags and leave. And actually, it seems part of the agreement the US had with the Nigerian authorities when they were battling to expel France last year was to limit their operations to just the Agadez drone base. Now, it has emerged that the CIA is allegedly conducting their operations from another air base. Now, to the issues the Nigerian authorities raised during the meeting they had with US officials. They expressed their displeasure after the US accused them of making a deal to provide uranium to Iran. They likened it to the false accusation US made before invading Iraq to remove Saddam Hussein from power. They accused the Nigerian president at the time of selling uranium to Saddam Hussein. At the time, the Nigerian president not only denied it, he reminded them that France controls the mining and sale of uranium in Niger. So even if Saddam Hussein got uranium from Niger at the time, he must have gotten it through France. All these were later debunked and proved to be a fabrication. It never happened. It was an outright failure of intelligence on the US part. The Nigerian authorities also found it condescending the way the US treats them. All relationships between countries should be mutual and based on equal grounds. Not one side feeling they can impose their will on the other. It's not the kind of relationship they want. Remember, they accused France of doing the same thing. Even Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso said something like that in the past. These countries want relationships with countries that treat them as equal partners. That's why they are moving closer to Russia. Russia can sell many types of weapons to anyone. They don't discriminate. They don't say, we won't sell this one to you, you can't buy this, you can't handle that. But the US and other Western countries will attach many conditions to the military hardware they sell to some countries. Many of their equipment are not even for sale to some countries, including their allies. That's understandable. They need to have very high confidence in the people they are dealing with before they can entrust sophisticated weapons in their hands. But that notwithstanding, in situations where two parties are negotiating and one side seems to be dictating all the terms, and the other party is just there to nod and accept all conditions, basically saying this is what we want, this is what we must do, take the money and shut up. Some people don't like that kind of relationship. So it will be interesting to know how the US will react to the latest demand by Niger for the closure of the US drone base in Agadez. We will keep you updated as events unfold. Thanks for watching.
La présence américaine sur le territoire de la République du Niger est illégale et viole toutes les règles constitutionnelles et démocratiques qui voudraient que le peuple souverain, notamment à travers ses représentants élus, soit consulté pour l'installation d'une armée étrangère sur le territoire national. Ainsi, c'est par simple note verbale numéro 174 du 6 juillet 2012 que la partie américaine a unilatéralement imposé au Niger un accord relatif au statut du personnel militaire des États-Unis et des employés civils du département américain de la Défense sur le territoire de la République du Niger. Cet accord est non seulement profondément injuste dans son fond, mais également ne répond pas aux aspirations et aux intérêts du peuple nigérien pour les raisons objectives suivantes. D'abord, il contraint le Niger à payer des factures liées aux taxes des avions militaires américains dont ces derniers doivent normalement s'acquitter et qui coûtent des milliards de francs CFA aux contribuables nigériens. Ensuite, les autorités nigériennes compétentes n'ont aucune information sur les activités militaires menées à partir des bases américaines au Niger et ignorent jusqu'aux effectifs civils et militaires ainsi que le matériel américain déployé sur le sol nigérien. Enfin, l'armée américaine n'a aucune obligation, selon l'accord, d'accéder aux demandes nigériennes d'appui contre les groupes terroristes qui assassinent nos vaillantes forces de défense et de sécurité et massacrent nos laborieuses populations.